Chosen one, God revealed how to deal with the J person in your life. There is something deeply important unfolding right now, something that could quietly change the direction of your life if you allow these words to settle into your heart with sincerity and attention. This is not random, and this is not something to overlook or delay, because God is gently uncovering a truth that has been hidden behind confusion, pain, and emotional weight. You were meant to hear this at this exact moment, and there is a reason your spirit feels stirred while reading these lines with quiet anticipation. Type Amen if you believe. The presence of this J person in your life has not been accidental, even though it has brought moments that felt heavy, unclear, and sometimes even discouraging in ways you could not fully explain. God has seen every moment where you felt misunderstood, every silent tear that fell when no one noticed, and every time your heart tried to stay kind, even when it was not treated with the same care. There has been a quiet struggle within you, trying to understand why this person behaves the way they do, why their actions feel confusing, and why your peace seems disturbed whenever they come too close to your inner world. Yet God has not been distant from this situation, and He has not ignored what you have endured in silence with patience and strength. If you feel a gentle confirmation in your spirit right now, take a moment to support this by liking this video so this message can reach others who are quietly waiting for the same clarity and comfort. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you love God. The truth that God is revealing is not meant to create fear or distance filled with anger, but to bring understanding wrapped in wisdom and peace that protects your heart without hardening it. The J person carries something within them that often reflects unresolved pain, hidden insecurity, or a struggle they have not yet surrendered to God's healing presence. Their behavior may sometimes appear sharp, distant, or unpredictable, but beneath that surface lies a person who has not fully learned how to walk in light and truth. Type 1111 if you trust in God. You are not placed in their life to absorb their brokenness or to lose yourself trying to fix what only God can restore with His gentle and powerful touch. God is teaching you how to respond without losing your peace, how to stand without becoming cold, and how to create healthy distance without carrying bitterness in your heart. This is a delicate balance, but it is one that your spirit is capable of learning because God is guiding you step by step with quiet wisdom that speaks softly but clearly. You are being shown that love does not always mean closeness, and kindness does not always mean allowing every behavior to enter your space without boundaries. There is a difference between caring for someone and carrying what was never meant for your shoulders to hold. In moments when the J person triggers confusion or emotional discomfort, God is inviting you to pause instead of reacting quickly with frustration or hurt. There is strength in stillness, and there is clarity that comes when you choose to step back and observe rather than immediately respond with emotion. This does not mean ignoring what is happening, but it means allowing God's wisdom to shape your response so that you remain steady and grounded instead of being pulled into unnecessary conflict or emotional exhaustion. You are learning that your peace is valuable, and it must be protected with gentle firmness that does not require harshness or rejection. God is not asking you to push this person away with anger, but He is guiding you to step into a position where your spirit remains calm, your heart remains soft, and your boundaries remain clear. This is how you grow, and this is how you remain aligned with His presence, even in situations that feel difficult or draining at times. There will be moments when the J person does not understand your change, when they may react to your calmness with confusion or even resistance, but this is not something to fear or carry as a burden. Their reaction is part of their own journey, and it does not define your path or your purpose. You are not responsible for how they respond to the peace that God is building within you, and you are not required to explain every step of your growth to someone who is still learning how to see clearly. God is gently reminding you that you are chosen, not to suffer endlessly in silence, but to walk in light, strength, and quiet confidence that comes from trusting Him fully. The presence of the J person is part of a lesson, but it is not your identity, and it is not your destination. You are being shaped into someone who knows how to love wisely, how to give without losing yourself, and how to stand without becoming hardened by what you have experienced. This is a sacred moment of understanding, and it carries a peace that slowly replaces confusion with clarity and fear with calm assurance. You are not alone in this, and you have never been alone, even in the moments when it felt like no one could truly see what you were going through. God has been watching, guiding, and preparing you for this exact realization, and now you are stepping into a new way of handling what once felt overwhelming. In the past, there may have been moments when their presence created waves inside your emotions, pulling you into thoughts that felt heavy and reactions that left you drained and confused afterward. There were times when you tried to adjust yourself to keep harmony, hoping that kindness and patience would change how things unfolded between you. Yet those efforts often left you feeling unseen, as if your quiet strength was not being recognized or valued in the way it deserved to be. Now God is gently opening your eyes to something deeper, something that frees you from the need to constantly adjust yourself for someone who has not yet learned how to meet you with the same care. What if abundance had always been influenced by a hidden brain signal, buried in classified records and never fully disclosed to the public? This frequency is now creating new pathways, attracting opportunities, and reshaping lives faster than expected. Thousands are already using it to draw wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brainwave today. You are not being asked to become distant in a cold or uncaring way, but you are being guided to become steady in a way that protects your spirit from unnecessary strain. There is a difference between loving someone and allowing their unresolved struggles to disturb your peace, and this is the wisdom that God is placing gently into your heart. You are learning that love can exist without constant closeness, and care can remain present even when boundaries are quietly set in place. Type 2020 to claim miracles. This is not just a simple act of stepping back, but a meaningful transformation in how you see yourself and how you respond to situations that once felt overwhelming. You are no longer standing in a place where you feel responsible for fixing what is beyond your control, and this realization is bringing a calm strength that was not there before. God is reminding you that every person has their own journey, and the J person must walk their path in their own time, guided by their own willingness to change and grow. There may still be moments when their words or actions seem to reach toward you, trying to pull you back into old patterns of response that once felt familiar. In those moments, you will feel a gentle pause inside you, a quiet space where you can choose how to respond instead of reacting automatically. This pause is a gift, and it is where God's wisdom meets your awareness, allowing you to remain grounded instead of being carried away by emotion. You are becoming someone who observes more than reacts, someone who listens with discernment instead of absorbing everything without reflection. This change is subtle, but it is powerful because it protects your heart while allowing you to remain kind and compassionate without losing yourself. You are not closing your heart, and you are not turning away from love, but you are learning how to love in a way that honors both your spirit and your peace. There is also a deeper layer to this journey that God is revealing to you slowly, showing you that the presence of the J person has been part of a greater preparation within your life. Through the moments of discomfort, confusion, and emotional challenge, your spirit has been stretched and strengthened in ways that are now becoming clear. You are more aware, more discerning, and more connected to your inner sense of peace than you were before, and this growth is something that cannot be taken away. At times, you may notice a quiet sadness when you realize that things may not change quickly with this person, or that the connection may not become what you once hoped it could be. This feeling is natural, and it is part of letting go of expectations that were not meant to shape your future. God is not asking you to ignore this feeling, but to allow it to pass through your heart gently, without holding on to it in a way that weighs you down. There is comfort in knowing that every connection in your life serves a purpose, even if that purpose is not what you first imagined. The J person has played a role in helping you see your own strength, your capacity for patience, and your ability to grow through difficult situations. This does not mean you must remain in a place where your peace is constantly tested, but it means you can walk forward with understanding instead of resentment. You are learning to release the need for things to be different, and in that release, you are finding a quiet freedom that feels light and steady. God is guiding you to focus on what is within your control, which is your response, your boundaries, and your inner state of peace. Everything else belongs to Him, and He is working in ways that you may not always see, but that are always aligned with a greater purpose. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. This step of faith is not about knowing every detail of what lies ahead, but about trusting that God is leading you toward a place where your heart will feel safe, valued, and at peace. You are not losing anything by choosing peace over confusion, and you are not giving up by stepping back from what no longer aligns with your well-being. As you continue on this path, you will notice that your energy feels different, lighter, and more focused on what truly matters. You will begin to invest your time and care into places and people that bring encouragement, understanding, and genuine connection into your life. This shift is not forced, and it does not require you to push anything away, but it happens naturally as you align yourself more closely with God's guidance. The J person may still exist in your life in some form, but their influence over your peace will no longer hold the same power it once did. You will see them with clearer eyes, understanding their limitations, without feeling the need to carry them as your own burden. This clarity brings a quiet compassion that does not entangle you, allowing you to remain kind without becoming overwhelmed. God is building something strong and beautiful within you, something that reflects His peace, His wisdom, and His love in a way that is steady and enduring. You are not the same person you were when this journey began, and you are not meant to remain in that place of uncertainty and emotional strain. You are moving forward, guided by a presence that sees you, understands you, and cares for you in ways that go beyond what any human connection can provide. You are no longer standing in confusion, trying to understand why things feel difficult, but you are stepping into a calm awareness that not everything that enters your life is meant to stay in the same way forever. There was a time when you may have thought that being patient meant enduring everything without pause, and being kind meant accepting behavior that quietly drained your energy over time. You carried more than you needed to, and you did it with a heart that truly wanted peace and connection, even when it cost you your own sense of calm. God has seen that willingness within you, and He has honored it. But now He is guiding you into a higher understanding, where your kindness is no longer tied to your silence, and your patience is no longer tied to your discomfort. A concealed brainwave once stored in classified files is said to ignite strong prosperity. In just 7 minutes, you can unlock the switch in your mind that draws abundance like a magnet. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate your hidden wealth wave right now. You are learning that your voice matters, even when it is expressed through quiet boundaries instead of loud words. There is strength in choosing not to engage in every moment that invites conflict or confusion, and there is wisdom in recognizing when to step back without feeling guilty for protecting your peace. This is not a rejection of the J person, but it is a realignment of your spirit with what God knows is best for you at this point in your journey. Type yes to affirm. This simple act of agreement is not just a word, but a reflection of the shift that is happening inside you, where you are choosing to trust what God is revealing instead of holding on to patterns that once felt familiar but no longer serve your growth. You are stepping into a place where your energy is not scattered or pulled in different directions, but centered and grounded in a quiet strength that does not need to prove itself to anyone. There is also a healing taking place within you that goes beyond this situation, touching parts of your heart that may have felt overlooked or unprotected in the past. The presence of the J person may have stirred emotions that connect to deeper experiences, moments where you felt unseen or where your efforts were not fully appreciated. God is not only addressing the surface of what you are facing now, but He is gently reaching into those deeper places and bringing comfort, restoration, and a renewed sense of value that does not depend on how others respond to you. As this healing continues, you will notice that your reactions begin to soften, not because you are ignoring what is happening, but because you are no longer carrying the same weight inside you. The things that once triggered strong emotions may begin to feel less intense, and situations that once caused confusion may start to appear clearer and easier to navigate. This is the result of God's presence working within you, aligning your heart with peace instead of turmoil. There is also a new understanding growing within you about timing, about how not everything needs to be resolved immediately, and how some situations unfold slowly in ways that require patience and trust. You are not in a race to fix everything, and you are not required to bring clarity to every situation on your own. God is working in ways that go beyond what you can see, and He is handling what is outside your control with care and purpose. At times, you may feel a quiet distance forming between you and the J person, and this distance may feel unfamiliar at first. It may bring a sense of space that you are not used to, and it may cause you to reflect on how things used to be, even if those moments were not always peaceful. This space is not something to fear, because it is where your spirit is learning to breathe freely again without being weighed down by tension or uncertainty. Type 1919 to receive miracles. There is something powerful about choosing to receive what God is offering you in this moment, which is not just relief from difficulty, but a deeper transformation that strengthens your spirit and prepares you for healthier and more fulfilling connections in the future. You are being guided toward a place where your relationships reflect mutual respect, understanding, and genuine care, and this requires letting go of what does not align with that vision. You are not losing anything that was meant to remain in your life, and you are not being taken away from something that was truly yours to hold on to. God does not remove without purpose, and He does not create distance without reason. Everything that is happening is part of a gentle redirection, leading you toward a path where your peace is not constantly challenged and your heart is not left searching for stability. There will be moments when you look back and realize how much you have changed, how your responses have become calmer, how your thoughts have become clearer, and how your heart feels lighter than it did before. These changes may not have been noticeable in a single moment, but over time, they form a transformation that reflects the work God has been doing within you quietly and consistently. The J person may still be on their journey, and they may continue to act in ways that reflect their current state of understanding, but you are no longer standing in the same place. You are not reacting in the same way, and you are not carrying the same weight. This difference is not something you need to announce or explain, but something you simply live out through your actions, your calm presence, and your steady boundaries. God is teaching you that your peace is not fragile, and it does not depend on perfect circumstances or ideal behavior from others. Your peace is something that grows stronger as you remain connected to Him, as you trust His guidance, and as you choose to align your actions with the wisdom He is placing within your heart. This peace becomes a foundation that supports you even when situations around you feel uncertain or incomplete. You are walking forward now with a deeper awareness, a stronger sense of self, and a heart that is being gently shaped into something beautiful and resilient. You are not the same person who once felt overwhelmed by this situation, and you are not meant to return to that place. You are moving ahead, guided by a love that is steady, patient, and always leading you toward what is good and right for your life. This clarity is not harsh, and it does not carry judgment, but it carries truth, and that truth is bringing a sense of peace that feels steady and reassuring, even when circumstances around you remain unchanged. There was a time when their actions may have felt personal, as if every word or silence carried a weight that landed directly on your heart and stayed there longer than it should have. You may have found yourself trying to understand their intentions, replaying moments in your mind, and wondering if there was something you needed to do differently to create a better outcome. Those thoughts came from a place of sincerity and care, but they also kept you tied to a cycle that drained your energy and clouded your peace. Deep within your brain is a small area tied to wealth and success, once hidden in restricted studies and classified documents. This newly uncovered frequency is helping people exchange financial stress for ease, and God has led you to see this message at this very moment. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brainwave now. Now God is lifting that weight from your shoulders, showing you that not everything is yours to carry, and not every situation is yours to solve. You are being invited into a place where you can observe without absorbing, where you can care without becoming consumed, and where you can remain present without losing your sense of balance. This is a powerful shift, and it is one that is quietly strengthening you from within. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. This trust is not about having all the answers, but about allowing yourself to rest in the guidance that God is providing, even when the full picture is not yet visible. You are learning to move forward without needing to control every outcome, and this is creating a space within you where peace can grow more freely. There is also a deeper emotional freedom that is beginning to rise within you, one that releases you from the need for constant validation or understanding from the J person. You are starting to see that your worth has never depended on how they respond to you, and it has never been defined by how much effort you put into making things work. Your value has always been rooted in who you are in God's eyes, and that truth is now becoming more real and more present in your daily experience. As this realization settles in, you may notice that your interactions with this person begin to change naturally, without force or struggle. You may speak less, but with more intention, and you may listen more, but with a sense of detachment that protects your inner peace. You are no longer trying to fix or change them, and you are no longer adjusting yourself to avoid discomfort. Instead, you are standing in a place of quiet confidence, allowing things to unfold without losing your balance. There is also a sense of release happening within your heart, a gentle letting go of expectations that once held you in a place of waiting and hoping for things to become different. This release is not filled with disappointment, but with acceptance, and that acceptance is bringing a calmness that feels both new and familiar at the same time. It is new because you have not experienced it in this way before, and it is familiar because it aligns with the peace that God has always intended for you to live in. At times, You may feel a moment of stillness when you realize that you are no longer reacting in the same way you used to, and that realization may feel almost surprising at first. You may notice that situations that once stirred strong emotions now pass through your awareness more gently, without leaving the same impact. This is not because you have become indifferent, but because you have become stronger, more centered, and more aligned with God's presence within you. Type 2323 if you agree. This agreement is not just with these words, but with the transformation that is taking place inside you, where you are choosing peace over confusion and clarity over emotional struggle. You are stepping into a version of yourself that is more grounded, more aware, and more connected to what truly matters. There is also a deeper sense of compassion that is growing within you, not just for the J person, but for yourself as well. You are beginning to see your own journey with more kindness, recognizing the effort you have put in, the patience you have shown, and the strength you have carried even when things felt uncertain. This self-compassion is important because it allows you to heal without blame and to grow without regret. The J person may continue to walk their path in ways that you do not fully understand, but you are no longer trying to walk that path for them. You are allowing them to be where they are, while you continue to move forward in alignment with what God is showing you. This separation of paths does not have to be dramatic or final, but it is real, and it is necessary for your growth and peace. God is also opening new spaces in your life. Spaces where your energy can flow freely, where your presence is valued, and where your spirit feels uplifted instead of weighed down. These spaces may come in the form of new connections, new opportunities, or simply a renewed sense of joy in moments that once felt overshadowed by stress or uncertainty. You are being guided toward a life that feels lighter, more balanced, and more aligned with your true purpose. As you continue on this journey, you will find that your trust in God deepens, not because everything becomes easy, but because you begin to see how He has been guiding you all along. You will recognize the moments where He protected you, the times where He redirected you, and the ways in which He strengthened you through experiences that once felt difficult. This understanding brings a sense of gratitude that fills your heart quietly, not in a loud or overwhelming way, but in a steady and peaceful way that stays with you. You begin to appreciate the growth that has taken place, even if it came through challenges, because you can now see the purpose behind it. You are no longer standing in uncertainty, and you are no longer searching for answers in places that cannot provide them. You are walking forward with clarity, with peace, and with a sense of direction that comes from trusting God fully. This is where your strength lies, and this is where your journey continues to unfold in a way that brings healing, growth, and a deeper connection to the life you are meant to live. You are beginning to see the J person through eyes that are no longer clouded by confusion or expectation, but through a clear understanding that allows you to recognize both their limitations and your own growth without becoming entangled in either. This clarity is gentle, and it does not push you toward harsh conclusions, but it quietly frees you from the need to interpret every action or silence as something that requires your emotional involvement. You are learning to let things be what they are, without forcing meaning where there is none, and without carrying what was never meant to stay with you. A 7-second brainwave approach, previously limited to elite groups and stored in classified files, is now available to everyone, and many call it the 30-second miracle. Researchers claim it stimulates a dormant brain center associated with prosperity and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it is removed from the internet again. There was a time when your heart may have felt pulled in different directions, trying to hold on to peace while also trying to maintain connection, even when that connection felt unstable or unclear. You may have found yourself giving more than you received, hoping that your consistency would eventually create a sense of balance between you and this person. Those moments were real, and they came from a place of sincerity, but they also kept you in a cycle that slowly drained your energy and clouded your sense of self. Now God is gently guiding you out of that cycle, not by force, but by awakening something within you that naturally seeks peace over struggle and clarity over confusion. You are no longer trying to hold everything together, and you are no longer placing your emotional well-being in the hands of someone who is still learning how to handle their own inner world. This is not a rejection of them, but it is a restoration of yourself. Type 77 to stay strong in faith. This strength is not loud, and it does not need to prove itself, but it is steady and present in the way you carry yourself now, in the way you respond, and in the way you choose where to place your energy. You are becoming someone who does not react from a place of hurt, but responds from a place of understanding, and that shift is changing everything around you in quiet but meaningful ways. There is also a sense of acceptance growing within you, one that allows you to release the need for closure in the way you once imagined it. You are beginning to understand that not every situation ends with clear answers or mutual understanding, and that is not something you need to resist or question anymore. God is showing you that peace does not come from everything being explained, but from trusting that what is unresolved in your view is still held and guided by Him. This acceptance is bringing a freedom that feels light and steady, allowing you to move forward without looking back with regret or lingering attachment. You are not closing a door with anger, but you are gently stepping away from a space that no longer aligns with your growth, carrying only the lessons and leaving behind the weight that once held you there. At times, you may feel a quiet distance between you and the J person that was not there before, and this distance may feel unfamiliar at first. It may feel like something has shifted in a way that cannot be reversed, and that realization may bring a moment of reflection. This distance is not something to fear, because it is where your spirit is finding its balance again, free from the tension that once disturbed your peace.